Hey, I'm back. She was 7. Okay, so this video is going to be about connecting to higher self. Now that we've got all that stuff out the way on the things that keep you from connecting to your higher self, there's still people that can't connect to their higher selves, and they are wondering why. And it's because they've been held in a lower frequency, either by themselves mentally or by other people mentally. This is why if you're around a lot of negative people, that you have to get away from them in order to ascend spiritually. Okay, if you don't get away from the negativity and the low vibrations, you're not going to be able to successfully communicate or connect to your higher self. That's just it. Okay. For an example, I'm going to use the mirror as an example. When you have like an anorexic person, and when they see themselves in the mirror, they don't see the skin and bones. They see themselves as really fat or obese. And that's not the truth. It's just how they see themselves. They don't recognize their self. The perception of themselves that is in their mind, how they feel, which is a vibration, a frequency, is what is reflecting in the mirror. So even though that person that they're looking at in the mirror does not look like what they actually look like, they do not recognize that person in the mirror. So they have a hard time knowing who they are. They don't know. They can't fathom that they don't look like that. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do when you cannot determine if the reflection in the mirror is real or what other people say you look like? What do you do? Until the frequency or your feelings change about what you look like and how you feel about yourself, that image in the mirror is going to stay the same, because our frequencies and our minds and our thoughts are going to reflect in that mirror. So, and there's a video that's like, that explains it perfectly. Like, what do? You smash the mirror. Psh. You smash the mirror because the mirror is the thing that is deceiving you at the moment. Until you can raise your frequency to a higher level in self-esteem about yourself, then you don't need to look else. You don't need to look without. You need to look within. So that's why you see a lot of movies or videos where someone's looking in the mirror and then they just smash it. That's why, because they don't recognize that person looking back. And when you can smash the mirror, that's when you can start to look within for your true self. Okay? And that's just a metaphor for until you can love yourself, until you can raise your own frequency on your own, you're going to let society tell you who you are. You're going to let society put this image of perfection in your head, that's what you must be. You're going to let society determine the standard of beauty to which you have to obey. You're going to let yourself down and change for society. And then when you look in the mirror, you don't recognize yourself anymore. And so you're upset. You don't know who you are. You can't even connect to who you were, who you are, who you used to be, because you don't recognize that person staring back at you. There's a song, a Beyonce song, and a Eurythmics song called Sweet Dreams. And then they both say the same thing in different ways. Sweet dreams. Let's start off with Beyonce, since everybody loves Beyonce. Okay, let's start off with Beyonce. A lot of people are like, yeah, she's in the Illuminati. That video, Sweet Dreams, was all Illuminati. Okay, no, it's a metaphor. In the beginning of the video, she's in bed and this like white bird is up, flying up, and then her astral body travels up. That bird is also representing her soul, or the Ba in Egyptian spirituality. The Ba has a human head and a bird body, which means it can fly and soar, astral travel. And the astral Beyonce goes up and she goes into all these different realities where she looks different. This is why I'm saying that in each reality, if we don't recognize ourselves, how are we going to know who we are? In every reality on that video, she looked totally different. One was futuristic, one was like the present, one was, could have been at any time, any place. One was in a desert, and the desert is where it's a metaphor for when you're searching for something, when you're on a journey and you're looking for something, And then you have her with the blonde wig and the robot outfit with the short hair. Then you have her with the black hair. Then you have her like just looking all different type of ways, okay? And she says it can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Either way, I don't want to wake up from you. So basically, if it's a sweet dream, then, great. But if it's a beautiful nightmare, what is the beautiful nightmare? I mean, it is an image that society claims is beautiful, but it's a nightmare because that's not you. You can be looking at, I kind of feel sorry for a lot of Hollywood stars, because you see them when they first come out, you see them in their kid pictures when they were growing up, and then you look at them now and they've all conformed to like the Stepford wife, or an image that society deems as, whatever. I don't even care what race, color, nationality they are. If you look at a celebrity, especially women, when they first come out, they start off with the normal looking self, black hair, brown eyes, the weight that they came in at. And then fast forward 5 to 10 years, you'll see them on a magazine covered with blonde hair, lost about 40 pounds, and looking just like everyone else that has done the same thing. And then, they all do it. I mean, they all change their look. They all do this. They all do that. But eventually, as time goes on, they go back to themselves after they have realized that they were not happy looking at an image on a magazine that they did not recognize, who their children would not recognize, who their mother would probably not recognize. It's the same concept. So, that's why it's important to accept self in order to be able to communicate with your higher self. If you can't accept this self, if you can't accept your own present self at the present time, then your higher self cannot as well. And that's why a lot of people have trouble communicating with their higher self, because they're not accepting of themselves in this reality. I get a lot of questions, and people like, I'm trying to communicate my higher self. I meditate. I meditate. I can't do it. It's you have to fix yourself first. You have to, everything about you, you have to accept it. You have to embrace it. You have to love it. You don't want to live a beautiful nightmare. Okay? You want to live a sweet dream. And even the song by the Eurythmics, the lyrics go, sweet dreams are made of this. I travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to abuse you. You know, that's the same concept. You know, you're being abused and used. Your frequency is being changed and lowered so that when you look in the mirror, you don't recognize yourself. And this is what's happening. So if you want to communicate with your higher self, this is what you have to do. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror every day. Like, it can even be a meditation. You take your mirror, go into a room, a dim room, light a candle, whatever you're going to do. Look into that mirror. Don't look at the physical appearance. Look into your eyes. Look into the mirror until you are very comfortable looking into the mirror at what you see. When you get to the point where you don't have to criticize anything in that mirror, and when you start to love everything you see in your natural state, when you, like, don't look in the mirror with a blonde wig on. Don't look in the mirror with your face made up like somebody else. You know, don't look in the mirror like that. Look in the mirror. A lot of people say look in the mirror naked, you know. And when you can embrace every single part of yourself, accept it, love it, recognize it, then that's when you will begin to be able to communicate with higher self. That is why influence, media, television, music, all of those things are so important, because they put things in your head and change the frequency about how you vibrate, how you feel about yourself, how you perceive yourself. Turn off the television. Don't look at those magazines that reflect something that you're not. Don't make yourself feel like you're not good enough, because even if you are the most beautiful person in the world, you're still going to find one flaw about yourself. And that one flaw, if you hang on to it, will keep you from reaching your highest self if you don't let it go. You know, a lot of people will say, well, it's not about my looks, it's about how I feel inside. You know, I'm not smart. I'm beautiful on the outside. I love myself on the outside, but I'm not smart. Or I didn't finish college and now I feel like less than everybody else. Or I didn't, you know, I just didn't have the best childhood, so I'm mad. All of those things stand in the way of you communicating with your higher self. So those frequencies are all low, and they will keep you low as long as you're focusing on them. There's some people that live their whole lives in the closet because they're gay, and they would rather live and pretend to be straight and live in a beautiful nightmare, you know. Then there are some people who will come out the closet and say, look, this is who I am, and I love me, I love you, da 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 da, and they're just so much more free, right? If you are going to live a beautiful nightmare, let me give you one little tip before you decide to live a beautiful nightmare. You ever look at Facebook, and I'm guilty of this, and you see this chick, and I'm guilty of it, I ain't gonna lie. You see this chick posting the same picture with the same pose every day. She's pretty, she's beautiful, but you see the same pose, the same chick every day, and you're like, I'm tired of seeing you. You know, beauty. What is beautiful if everyone's beautiful? What is beautiful if I have to see a beautiful picture of you every day? You know? What about one of those days where you're sick and and you look ugly, you know. Can I see one of those pictures? So what I'm saying is, living a beautiful nightmare becomes a nightmare. You ever seen one of those Twilight Zone episodes where like everything that they ever wished for they had, but then it became a nightmare? They got bored of it. They were like, oh my God. The Midas touch, everything you touch turned to gold. You know, it's a curse. It's a gift, and then it's a curse. But in the end, it's only a curse. So don't live a beautiful nightmare. Accept who you are, and love yourself. Keep going, so that you can recognize your higher self when you get there. Don't let them take you down, because that's what they do. Like, when I was younger, I used to feel that same way. I had, my self-esteem wasn't very high. I wished I looked a different way. I wished I looked that way, you know. But this is who I am, and once I finally accepted it, it's not that I'm ugly or, you know, think that I'm supposed to be better looking or whatever. It was more internal. And once I accepted everything about myself, my flaws and all, look, I'm naming all these Beyonce songs. Once I accepted everything, then that's when I was free to communicate with my higher self. It's just like the law of attraction, and the law of the. It's just like gratitude. You have to be thankful for what you already have before you can receive more. You understand? Okay, well, I hope this helps. I'm trying to make these videos shorter, but I start rambling, and I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right.